It is June 8. It's time for the midweek edition of Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? Wednesday morning it is. The weekend is just around the corner. Hope you're looking forward to that. Big weekend coming up for the members of the Island Fitness or the Island Fitness pageant. Some lovely ladies. They were here on Morning Barbados before. You may want to check that out. Hope you're counting your pennies. You know, it's difficult times these days and you just have to save every little one. Sometimes you go to the store and it's a penny and change, at least a penny, you know, that 1 cent. And you sometimes say, no, it's okay, that's cool, I don't want it. And the store owners, they gladly accept it, they take it. But check this out, a man in Utah was charged by the police after he attempted to pay a medical bill with pennies, 1 cent. Luckily for the people at the hospital was that the bill was only $25, but he paid it in pennies only because he was upset because he didn't think he owed. And guess what? The police charged him $140. That's a fine for paying with pennies. I wonder if he'll pay the police with pennies, though, because, you know, he might have a whole lot more. It's not the first time that has happened, apparently. Last summer, a man in Maryland, I guess these things just happen in the United States, he tried to pay a tax bill with pennies only. His bill was $986.86. That's a lot of pennies. Apparently turned up with bags of pennies. Well, he has to be a strong man, though. I'm thinking that's a lot of pennies to be walking around with. I don't know if he was charged. And some kids in a school, about 21 of them, they all decided to buy their lunch, which cost $2, with pennies. So the school suspended them. But the parents protested and they were allowed to resume class. So, you know, count your pennies today, but I don't know, go to the bank and get them changed into dollars because apparently it's expensive to pay with pennies, at least in the United States. I don't know what happened here in Barbados. I have a bag of pennies at home. Maybe I might go into the supermarket and buy some groceries with those pennies. Probably not going to get much, maybe an apple or a banana or something. These days prices are so high. Watch what you say while you're going along today, too, you know, because words once uttered cannot be recalled, pretty much like email and other things like that. There's this youngster, he's on the school team, pole vault team. He was in line to win the pole vault championship. However, his last jump, he didn't quite make it, and it put him back into third place. So, you know, he expressed himself. I can't express it the same way here right now because then I might be, you know, having to pay with pennies someplace else. But it cost him his position. He didn't get to be in third place because of that word, which we shall not repeat. And it also cost his school team because they removed all the points that he had previously accumulated also. So watch what you're saying, you know. Say something like, oh, shoot, you know, or oh, shucks, or whatever. But try not to make it a little, you know, too expressive. Try to keep it clean. That's all I'm saying. Now, in New Zealand, and if we have any fans from New Zealand watching, you know, we're online, and it's very nice. I was following it online while I was traveling. Nice, clean, especially when you're getting good internet service. It's amazing. I try to watch it here, and it doesn't look quite as good. I wonder why is that. But, you know, yeah, I digress. I was traveling, and, you know, nice, healthy internet service, everything was looking clean. And to those from New Zealand who are watching us, even if you're here, commiserations on the death of your oldest sheep. Get this sheep became famous because it avoided being shorn for 7 years. It hid in caves that ate, you know, little cave, whatever grows in caves. And when they found it 7 years, it had 60 pounds of wool. They called him Shrek. Now, I don't know if Shrek would take offense with that because I know if I was Shrek, I'd be upset. But he became famous, had to, you know, travel around the whole of New Zealand where they would share him. I don't understand. He was hiding because he didn't want to be shorn. And then when they caught him, they celebrated him by taking him around New Zealand and, you know, taking off his world. But he became famous and was given his own barn and a personal assistant. Now, I get up every morning and I come down here. I try my best to do what is expected. I don't see no personal assistant. What do I have to do? Grow some fur? And while we're on that note, and you're probably wondering why I'm talking and dominating the show, that's because I don't want either of my presenters. Oh, they're not? Where are they? They're not here this morning. Well, whatever they're doing, I hope they're doing it with me in mind. Oh, yes, indeed. That is it. But, you know, it all goes on. And, of course, we will be here for the duration. And it's probably time to bring you up to date with some of the news that's happening locally. No pennies, no sheep in the top lines this morning. We're starting off with the news that the Barbados government fully supports efforts to keep Red Jet flying. That firm statement from Tourism Minister Richard Seeley during his contribution to the House of Assembly yesterday. He said the government did the right thing when it embraced Air One Ventures and agreed to provide concessions to that company. The tourism minister also said the business model of competitors Liat was unsustainable, citing the cost of traveling to Trinidad and Tobago now stood at $639. He said it was an injustice to protect Liat from Red Jet, and the best thing to happen to that airline was the introduction of new competition. MP for the city, Patrick Todd, believes there's room for partnership between Red Jet and Liat. He made the comments in Parliament as the spotlight fell on the Grantley Adams International Airport. Mr. Todd believes that Red Jet can significantly boost tourist arrivals into Barbados and help to boost the integration movement. MP for St. George North, Glenn Clark, wants government to divest itself of any shares in the air and seaports of Barbados. This as there were calls on both the opposition BLP and the ruling DLP to take the points of entry out of the realm of politics and to support their modernization. Mr. Clark also wants to see the airport achieve Category 1 status in the soonest possible time, noting that the continued modernization of the airport is vital to the island as a major tourist attraction. Those are your top lines. We'll have more details for you later on at 7 o'clock this morning in our morning news. So we will now go abroad and bring you some of the international stories in the International Herald Tribune, brought to you with the good wishes of Newspaper Direct. On the front page, Yemen leader said to be severely wounded. President Ali Abdullah Saleh of Yemen suffered injuries far more extensive than previously known in the attack on the presidential palace last week. He's now reported to have burns over 40% of his body, and this is according to Yemeni officials and Western diplomats. There have also been reports that a wooden shard sliced into his body and punctured a lung. It was initially reported that Mr. Saleh, who was flown to Saudi Arabia on Saturday for treatment at the Armed Forces Hospital in Riyadh, had suffered burns to his face, neck, and arms in a blast at the Palace Mosque during Friday prayers. So we will, of course, follow that story. And I suppose in time the truth will be revealed about the extent of his illness or his injuries. European gains ground in the race to lead the IMF. You know, there was talk that maybe one of the emerging economies in the world may have a chance at now running that body because of the way things are going. But it seems it will stay in Europe. As the race for a new leader at the International Monetary Fund moves towards a pivotal moment this week, the global charm offensive by the French finance minister Christine Lagarde appears to be paying off. Despite the alarm over efforts to keep a European in one of the most powerful positions in global finance, China, Brazil, and other fast-growing countries appear to be concluding that it would be in their interest to support Ms. Lagarde over her main rival, Agustin Carstens, who is the governor of the Mexican Central Bank. The story is there that by supporting Ms. Lagarde, they will get to have more influence. We see how that pans out in the long run, as we also follow the case with the former head who is facing charges in the U.S. Newspaper Direct, responsible for bringing you the International Herald Tribune. Their number is 436-1314. We move to the local newspaper, starting off with The Advocate. Affected residents to receive keys soon. Well, that is good news if you're one of them, as the Grantley Adams International Airport continues expansion and efforts to reside residents who live in the flight path of aircraft Those residents are being told that government is working assiduously to have their new accommodation ready. And you just love it when, words like assiduous comes in, because you know that's hard work right there. They're working really hard to get them the keys. I hope that they come. Young males being pressured to conform to mediocrity. That's the story also on the front page of The Advocate. On the back, develop a culture of productivity. Oh, that's good advice right there. The collective work ethic of Barbadians needs to be improved if this island wants to be the best in the Caribbean and to compete with metropolitan countries in the area of development. And I'm sure we want to be the best and also to compete. Not fair is the headline on the Nation newspaper. Jones calls for lifting of ban on autism. And, sometimes we dream of having twins. You never did that? I did. I'm glad, though, that I didn't. Because, double the trouble, they say. But it was double delight at Vauxhall Primary Schools when the common entrance results were announced Friday. Identical twins, Rashona and Rashana Holder, not only top students at the Christchurch institution, but they scored identical marks. Should we investigate? I'm just kidding. Congratulations. Look at them. Thumbs up and everything. They're just happy to be... Apparently, though, they're very competitive, so they're not very happy that they got the same marks. One of them would have liked to have outdone the other. There they are. Rashana and... let me get the names correct. Sorry. Rashana and Roshona. I hope that was correct. MP's back, Red Jet. We hear that in the top line. House hears benefits of airline. And also on the back page, we have two fishermen who've home with fish. They didn't have to lie about the size of it. They actually caught fish. They're not very big, but they had a lot. And they were cleaning them up. They are hooked on fishing. I need to get their numbers because, I would like to get some fresh fish in the morning with the smell of the sea on them. Ain't that the best way to have your fish delivered? I tell you. Their names are Emil Grunage and his nephew Tyrone Savory. So if you know them, give them a shout up and tell them, check me because I need my fish fresh from the sea. All right, we're going to tell you what's coming up this morning. But before that, let me just tell you that the St. Michael South Constituency Council will be holding a free health and wellness fair. It's free. It's happening on June 11 at the NUPW headquarters, Dalkeith Road. It will be opened by the Prime Minister, the Honorable Frundle Stewart QCMP. That would be a good time to meet the Prime Minister, It's not usual that he's out and about, so get out there, get your health check, your nutritional advice. You can keep fit, you can do self-defense, you can even pick up some plants, and you can say hello to Mr. Stewart. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing? Hope you're fit and nice. Yes, the battle is soon to be raging because the other side is consolidating, getting the ranks together. I'm sure he's watching on with interest and also making his strategy, planning his strategy, because he's that, one of those cerebral generals. And you know how they think. It's a chess game. I'm getting the wrap-up sign. I don't know why. I think I have 2 whole hours to go. I can talk for forever. But let me just let you know that coming up, we will be having a segment called Better Business. We will have James Husbands. You know him, of course. He's a businessman. He's been around for a little while. He will be joining us. We will also have our doctor on the line this morning, Dr. Adrian Lord, in the first half. So, stay with me. I'll be back shortly. It's Morning Barbados on this Wednesday, June 8.